is going to be changing it. Okay? So we got standard form, we got this, and I'm going to write what standard form is on the top of this. So standard form is AX plus BY equals C. Okay. A, B, and C are just numbers. Okay, so you're not going to have 5 letters in the equation. You're going to have numbers with X and Y. Okay? What you should notice different between standard form and point slope or slope intercept is that your X and Y are on the left side. They're both on the same side of your equation. Okay? Okay, so if we open, before we open it up, and you can write this here on the side if you want, that's fine. Okay, so if I put a graph here, here's an X and a Y axis. X is always your horizontal left to right axis. Y is always your vertical axis, up and down axis. Okay? We talked about, when we did slope intercept, your y-intercept. Somebody explain to me what I know about a y-intercept. Where does it fall on your graph, a y-intercept? On the y-axis. So it's an ordered pair that falls on your y-axis. So what's an x-intercept then? An ordered pair that falls on your x-axis. So what we are going to do is we are going to graph something in standard form by finding a point on your y-axis and finding a point on your x-axis and connecting those 2 points. Okay, that's how we were going to graph standard form. Finding your x-intercept and finding your y-intercept. Okay, so if we open the page up, okay, so we are first going to find our x-intercept and our y-intercept. And I use a method called the cover-up method. Okay? All of you in here can solve a one-step equation. If I said 2x equals 4, you could tell me that x was 2. Okay? So, that's the process that we are going to use. So, to find the x-intercept, and I'm going to put this above it, it will be an ordered pair that will have a 0 in your y and some number in your x spot. That's an x-intercept. X-intercept is going to fall on your x-axis and will always look like that. You'll find the number that goes there. To find your x-intercept, you're going to sub 0 in for y and solve for x. Now, if I sub 0 in for anything, so if I take 0 times any number, what is always your answer? 0. Okay? So we'll keep that in mind. Now, I'm going to find a y-intercept, and a y-intercept is going to be 0, then some number, because it's going to fall on your y-axis. Okay. So, go ahead, Bailey. Your y-axis is always up and down. Yes, because an ordered pair is always x, y. Okay? And so I'm going to sub 0 in for x and solve for y. Okay, so we are going to need to find our x and our y-intercept. I'll find my x-intercept first just because it's alphabetical order. It doesn't matter which one you do. Okay. So if I'm going to find my x-intercept, it says sub 0 in for y. So if I put a 0 in here, 7 times 0 is just going to be 0. So what I choose to do is wherever I'm putting my 0, I just choose to cover that up. That's why I call it a cover-up method. So I cover it up with my finger, and now I have the equation 2x equals 28. So if I cover this up, I have the equation 2x equals 28. How do you solve that? I divide by 2. And I get x equals 14. Now, I need to know what my x-intercept is. So my x-intercept will be 14, 0. Now, if I want to find the y-intercept, what am I going to cover up? The 2x. And so I'm going to have 7y equals 28. And I'm going to divide by 7. And I get y equals 4. So your y-intercept is 0, 4. Okay? Now, if you can divide this using just your calculator or in your head, fine. You don't have to show me anything but write x-intercept, y-intercept. If you need to use the aid of your calculator, then use it. Okay? Okay, so number 2. You definitely have to keep signs. So this is a -4 with that. Okay? So I'll find the x-intercept first. So if I'm going to find my x-intercept, I'm going to have -4x equals 12. I'm going to divide by a -4. And so 12 divided by -4 is -3. So I have the ordered pair -3, 0. If I'm going to find my y-intercept, I'm going to cover up my x, and I have the equation 4y equals 12. How do you solve that? Divide by 4, and so I'm going to have a y-intercept of 0. 12 divided by 4 is 3. Okay, now, what's the problem with 3? 3 is a special case. It's in slope-intercept, and we're finding our x and y intercepts. So in order to do that, we're going to change it to standard form. This is a special case. It's not one that you will see very often. Similar to special cases when I ask you just to graph a vertical line or a horizontal line. Those are special cases. This is a special case. You will not see it that often, okay? But just so you're aware of it. So I need to move the 4x to the left side. How do you move the 4x to the other side? Yep. So I would have -4x plus y equals 2. Oh, -2, yes. Thank you. Now we go through the same process again. So if I cover up my y, I'm going to have -4x equals -2. Solve that equation. Means you're going to divide by -4. And we're going to get our x-intercept of what? What's -2 divided by -4? A half. And 0.
Could we have did this another way where like y is already in slope intercept, we just divide by 4 and divide by 4 on the negative side?
I'll come look at what you have down. Did you do it that way on your paper?
No, but I remember doing it.
Okay. Okay, so y-intercept. If I cover up the -4x, what's y? Y equals -2. Is there any work to do for that problem? No. All you have to do is look at it and tell me it's negative 2. Because that would be 1y equals negative 2. If you need to divide by the negative or the 1, do so, but hopefully we're through that. That's a special case. You will typically see them like 1 and 2, not like 3. Okay, so number 1 on the bottom part says graphing lines using your intercepts. You have to find your x-intercept, you have to find your y-intercept, and then we are going to graph them. So, if I'm going to find, and I'll just write them underneath because this is how your worksheet is that you got here in a minute. So, x-intercept and y-intercept. So, if I'm going to find my x-intercept, I'm going to cover up the negative y. And I have 3x equals 6. Divide by 3, and you get x equals 2. So your x-intercept is going to be the ordered pair 2, 0. Okay, now for my y-intercept. You have to make sure that you keep that negative y there, okay? Because it has a big impact on this. So the equation would be negative y equals 6. How do I solve for just y? Divide by a negative 1. And so you're going to get y equals negative 6. So this is going to be the ordered pair 0, negative 6. Now if I'm going to graph that, my x-intercept has to be a point on my x-axis. So I'm just going to go over 2 on my x-axis and put a point. My y-intercept is negative 6. So I'm going to go down 6 and put a point. And since you don't have straight edges, just freehand a line. Or if you have to have a straight edge, get up and get one. Questions? Okay, we got one more. Okay, so underneath I'm just going to put x-intercept and y-intercept. Okay, so if I'm going to find my x-intercept, I'm going to have negative 5x equals 20. So I'm going to divide 20 by, no, negative 5. So what's 20 divided by negative 5? Negative 4. So my ordered pair is negative 4, 0 for my x-intercept. Okay, y-intercept. I have 4y equals 20. I'm going to divide by 4, and y equals 5. So I have the ordered pair 0, 5. On my x-axis, I'm going to go negative 4. And on my y-axis, I'm going to go up 5. And then I'm going to connect those. Questions?